Libra, 2026 is a year that fundamentally redefines how you relate, not only to others, but to yourself inside every bond you maintain. This is not a light or decorative chapter in your life. It is a year that tests balance, commitment, and truth, and asks you to stop negotiating your needs simply to preserve harmony. What shifts now reaches far beyond temporary dynamics. It reshapes your relationships, your standards, and your sense of self for many years to come. From the very beginning of the year, relationship themes move to the forefront in a way that is impossible to ignore. At the end of January, Neptune enters Aries and moves directly into opposition with your sign, activating your relationship sector. The way you experience partnerships begins to soften, blur, and dissolve at the edges. You may feel more romantic, idealistic, or emotionally open than usual, drawn toward deep connection and meaningful union. At the same time, uncertainty creeps in. You may question where you truly stand with certain people, or feel unsure whether what you are experiencing is real or imagined. Neptune has a way of exposing illusions gently at first. Some connections feel magical, soulful, or destined, while others feel confusing, draining, or undefined. Libra learns quickly this year that love without clarity eventually costs more than it gives. Bonds built on fantasy, projection, or avoidance begin to lose their structure. This is not meant to disappoint you, it is meant to free you from emotional agreements that were never sustainable. In February, Saturn follows Neptune into Aries, reinforcing this opposition to your sign and changing the tone entirely. What was vague now becomes serious. Commitments demand definition. Relationships are tested by responsibility, boundaries, and long-term expectations. Weak structures strain under pressure, while strong ones either deepen or require restructuring. Saturn does not allow imbalance to continue quietly. If you have been overgiving, minimizing your needs, or avoiding difficult conversations to keep the peace, this transit makes that pattern impossible to maintain. For Libra, this is one of the most important lessons of the year. Balance is not achieved through sacrifice alone. Saturn asks you to define what partnership truly means to you, not in theory, but in practice. Who carries responsibility? Who compromises? Who shows up when things are heavy? This is the beginning of a more mature, grounded approach to love and collaboration. What survives this period is real. As relationship pressure builds, the first eclipse of the year arrives in February with an annular solar eclipse in Aquarius, shifting attention toward joy, creativity, romance, and emotional expression. This eclipse opens a new chapter around pleasure and self-expression. You may rediscover something that makes you feel alive, or a romantic storyline takes an unexpected turn. For some, a new attraction appears. For others, a spark returns where it was fading. This eclipse reminds you of something essential. Love is not only duty, responsibility, and commitment, it must also bring lightness, play, and inspiration. You are allowed to want joy, not just stability. This realization becomes important as the year unfolds. In early March, a total lunar eclipse in Virgo turns your attention inward. This is a quieter, more introspective moment. Old emotional habits, hidden anxieties, or subconscious patterns surface to be released. You may feel the need to rest more, withdraw socially, or process emotions privately. This eclipse does not demand action, it asks for awareness. For Libra, this is about clearing mental and emotional clutter that has been affecting your peace without you realizing it. Letting go now creates space for healthier relational dynamics later. As spring progresses, the tension of opposition begins to soften. By the end of April, Uranus enters Gemini and forms a supportive trine to your sign. This shift is important. After months of relational pressure and emotional testing, you begin to feel movement, relief, and perspective. Your outlook expands. Curiosity returns. You feel less trapped in emotional loops and more open to new experiences. Uranus here changes how you see life itself. Beliefs evolve. Conversations stimulate your mind. Opportunities related to travel, learning, teaching, or new cultural experiences appear unexpectedly. This trine helps you step back from relational tension and see the bigger picture. You are reminded that growth does not only happen through compromise, it also happens through exploration and intellectual freedom. By mid-year, Jupiter enters Leo and expands your social world. Friendships grow, new connections appear, networks become sources of opportunity rather than obligation. Support comes through others in a natural way. Collaboration feels rewarding again. You begin aligning with people who encourage your growth rather than testing your limits. Jupiter reminds you that partnership is not limited to romantic bonds. Community matters. Shared goals matter. When you surround yourself with people who reflect your evolving values, progress feels lighter and more organic. In August, the energy peaks with a total solar eclipse in Leo, resetting your long-term goals and social direction. A new vision for your future takes shape. You may step into a new community, launch a project with others, or release a dream that no longer resonates. This eclipse pushes you to consciously choose the environments and people you invest in. This is not about popularity, it is about alignment. You are learning that your future depends on who you build with. Toward the end of August, a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces closes the eclipse cycle by reshaping your daily life. Work routines, responsibilities, and health habits reach a turning point. Something unsustainable comes to an end. You may change how you manage your time, energy, or obligations. This eclipse reminds you that balance is not an abstract idea. It is something you practice daily through choices. By the end of 2026, Libra, you understand that balance is not about compromise at all costs. It is about truth, boundaries, and mutual respect. This year teaches you to choose relationships, routines, and paths that support your growth, not just your comfort. When you do, life feels lighter, clearer, and far more aligned.